Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Under Construction, the game show where we do some things and it's not a game, and, yeah, whatever. We're here building Tollbrand. We're in Olive. Let me look at the world, the state of the universe, and see what we have to do. We have to put trees in here. We don't actually have to put trees over here. We're gonna do scenery here, and scenery here. So, like, this area is one big project, but that'll probably take us more than a half an hour. So, you know how these things go. They take forever. I don't think we're going to leave here today, because there isn't that much else major that I have to do. This should be done off camera. This is definitely going to have to be done off camera, and like everything else over here is trees. So, there's nothing else really groundbreaking or special that we have to do, aside from working in the town of Olive, so I think we're going to get working on the town of Olive today. You know, more than we usually do, or more than we're currently doing. So I'm going to start off in this block. I was out doing traffic surveys all day today, which is interesting. That's, you know, it's quasi my line of work. And, you have some interesting encounters, especially when the people aren't too keen on the project that you're working for, which was the case. These guys, I don't think I can give away too much, just for confidentiality's sake, but it's a neighborhood, and there's a proposal to build a school, and the neighborhood people do not want the school, and, I was down there doing traffic counts at this intersection, and it was a game of beat around the bush when they ask you questions because you don't want to tell them who you're working for, blah blah blah. Somebody did work it out of me a little bit. It was unfortunate because, well, sort of what I had with me gave away what I was doing, or, you know, who I was working for, which was unfortunate, but I hope that doesn't cause too much trouble. At any rate, yeah, that's really, you know, these people come up to you, they roll up in their cars and they give you, like, mafia-style shakedowns. You know, well, who are you working for? Who can I call? You know, who contracted you guys out? And frankly, I didn't know much, which was the real issue, although it wasn't really an issue because I, you know, could at least honestly answer, I don't know, when they're like, who contracted you guys out? Because I don't remember. I got sent out at, you know, relatively short notice. Go take traffic counts at this intersection and report back. This guy's gonna get a garage. And report back the things that you find. Oh, this is not lined up well, though. This garage is gonna have to be in the way back if we line these suckers up. Yeah. Gonna be a long and narrow property. This is like, no, it's not. What else? So yeah, that was interesting. And then I did a different survey in a different town, and also got asked, like, are you working on this location? I presume the person owned the place and just wanted to know what the hell I was doing there. I don't really know as far as that goes. But you do get a lot of people questioning you when you're out there. Even, you know, it's funny. When you're in the high-vis vest, authorities don't question you. People question you all the damn time. You know, I'm not entirely keen on why, or, you know, as to why that is, but it happens, apparently. It seems to. That's for sure. Of course, sometimes when you're in the high-vis vest, people are either curious as to why you're there, or they assume you work there and have questions for you. Which happened when I did counts at the airport nearby. I don't know how much I shouldn't give away. Actually, this one's fairly obvious. I was doing counts at Logan Airport. So, if any of you happen to be going through Logan Airport, like last week, I think it was on a Friday, and you saw a kid at the entrance to Terminal A, Arrivals, wearing a high-vis vest, that was me. That was 100% me. And yeah, I was doing traffic counts. And you'd get people come up to you like, oh, do you know which bus I take to get to blah blah blah? And if I knew the answer, I would immediately spit it out. Just be like, oh, it's such and such. They'd be like, okay, thank you. And then I would add, also, I don't work here. And I would get these very confused responses because obviously I just gave people an answer, presumably the answer that they were looking for, and then just admitted that I did not work there. So, you know, it's not like they wouldn't trust my answer at that point, but they would get very, you know, you could see there was a moment of hesitation in there. It was honestly kind of funny, but I wasn't doing it to mess with people. I was doing it because I was in the middle of a traffic count, and I couldn't just stop, you know, and just be like, okay, the guy you need is over there, not me. If I knew the answer, I would just spit it out. You know, it didn't take that long to determine what they wanted to know, because they just come up to me and be like, excuse me, yes. I'd be very terse with them, and that was not on purpose. But, you know, you think about it, when you're in that situation, you're just counting cars, you're counting cars, you're counting cars. You gotta be focused on the cars, because I had some moments where, the roads I was working on were not too populated, or, you know, the roads I have been working on. Sometimes, obviously, Logan Airport is a different story, but I've had some moments where I'll, like, look away for a minute, and then sort of have a moment of thinking about something, and then I'll come back and be like, did I miss a car? And you'd think you'd realize if a car drove right by you, but sometimes you don't. And that's when there's an issue. Because you go, did I miss a car? And you have to, like, go back in your memory and think, you know, did I? Let me analyze the sounds that I've heard. Am I just thinking of, you know, cars that I've already heard go by and heard again? Or, you know, whatever. You know, mentally heard again, that I didn't actually hear again. You know what? We need some, like, you know what? We need a pear tree. Da 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 da. There we go. Where am I going to put a fence? Fence needs to be around this backyard here. Yeah, it even has special stairs. Okay, what do I need? I'm actually going to pull this fence back from the edge a little bit. This guy has it really close to his house. We've already done that. Where's the wooden fence? This guy. But yeah. You just sit there and analyze what you've heard and seen in the last few minutes when you were, like, not thinking and not paying attention. It's a particularly annoying thing to have happen. Wink. Okay. Alright, so that's like that. We've got a fenced-in backyard. Backyard. We do have to put some trees in here. And so I think I'm going to sort of use the trees that we already have been using, but just for this area. So, like, you know, throw some red oak trees down. And I should honestly be using push pins for these, but there aren't enough of them. You know, I need push pins for the variety, but, or, you know, for the, basically just for the auto rotation. But even then, it's like not, you know, I don't know. There aren't enough for me to go through and do the auto replacement with them and blah blah blah. I'm using the wrong kind of birch tree. I'm aware of this. I like how these are like the nice birch trees with the white, and the river birch are like the gross birch trees. Or did I just rotate by accident? It's like, what river are these birch trees from? They soak up everything and turn brown. You know, we need some picnic tables. Where did I put that one, the one with the... Not in here, obviously, because that isn't done. Right there. Umbrella table. You know what? First, I need one here. Like, I need some out here. Like, in the open. And then I wanted to stick, like, a normal picnic table back there, but I don't know about that. You know, I should put one of these Corsairs on display or something. Because I have a Corsair. Thank you, Jader. It's a quite nice model. It's photo-textured. I mean, the model itself is a little but the photo-texturing makes it look okay. We have a 30-foot tall Union Jack, if we want to use that for something. That must have been from the UK route. Okay. You know what's odd, and I think about this from time to time. I feel like a lot of the routes we have to deal with in trains are so small. You know, a lot of them can be pretty detailed, but pretty small overall. You know, we get a handful of them, but it's nothing like, and this is what really makes me think of it. It's nothing like what it used to be in MSTS. MSTS, you had these routes that you would go on, and you could hit the auto, like the tour the route feature, which I did not find until way late in my MSTS career, and I am disappointed, because I would have loved to have found that earlier. I would have watched, like, all of them. But, like, the only one that I really knew upside down and backwards, except for the Northeast Corridor, I guess, because I was just always annoyed. I was always trying to find a way past Washington. Or no, was I trying to find a way past Penn Station? I don't remember. But, like, I wanted to see, you know, quote-unquote, the rest of the route. But there wasn't a rest of the route. I wanted to go to Rhode Island. Nobody ever models Rhode Island on the Northeast Corridor routes, and it makes me so sad. They never model all the way to Boston, they stop at Penn Station. I'm like, well, you're missing the most scenic parts of the route. You know? You're missing Connecticut, which, for everything that Connecticut sucks at, they probably have the best looking part of the Northeast Corridor. Almost definitely, actually, because it's the water, you're on the water side. You know, how can you turn that down? You're on the water side. B, it's like, it has the only, this is the funny one, it has the only railroad crossings on the Northeast Corridor are in Connecticut. And then you get, you go through all these really cool bridges. And then after that, you go into Rhode Island and you have some of the fastest parts of the corridor. You know, one of the only parts where you can go 150 miles an hour with the Acela up until, well, fairly recently. I've heard they're increasing the speed of some parts of the corridor up to like 170. Heard that from a friend of mine, and I was, you know, pretty like, wow, okay, that's something. Who was I talking to that said that? I don't remember. Oh, you know, was that on the podcast? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was on the podcast. Either that or it was, like, before or after, because it was Pastor. I was talking to Pastor. Anyways, I've totally lost my train of thought here. I started somewhere totally different, and now I'm here. Placing very small trees in a park. I want some shrubberies. But I don't want to place individual shrubberies. That's the issue. I would like some shrubberies that are about the color of the grass. But that is not a thing that I can get, apparently. Let me just move this out to, like, here. No, wrong one. Put that back. Control Z. There. Grab this. Nope. Grab this. Nope. Grab this one. Nope. Give me this tree. God damn it. Alright. Nope. Alright. Grab that now. Put it over here. Put this one back. There we go. This is Giant Effing Rock Park. This is called the Olive Pit. That's what this is. I'm naming it. Hold on. Olive Pit. These suckers didn't get the ones without them, so they ended up with a giant pit in their olive. Everybody knows that the black olives are the best. You know, if you're having a pizza. I don't have any other kinds of olives. I don't know too many other kinds of olives, I'll be honest. I'm not an olive connoisseur. I just named this after there was a thing in a book, actually, long time ago. I think it was in a book. And the whole thing at the end was like, we should rename the town Olive, because it'll be the Olive Branch line when they finally got the train to come to town. It was set in the Old West. If somebody could figure out what the hell book I'm talking about, I would be super duper impressed, and then I would want to reread it immediately and, like, bask in nostalgia. Because, you know, what else is there to life other than, you know, huge amounts of nostalgia and, you know, crippling debt from college. That's it, guys. That's all there is. We've got shrub. Hold on, shrub. That's a really crappy shrub. Sugar maple. I didn't put anything right up at the edge of the park. What about a white oak? What have we got for these? Oh, these are kind of... Oh, these are the same ones I was placing earlier. Red oak. Did I already put one of these over here? Will this match, like... Yeah, it will. Oh, well, I'm not worried about it. I just generally want to cover stuff. Although, I know, you know, pretty much for a fact that if this was a park in real life, you would have... No, I'm not going to answer this. Whoever's calling me. No, I'm not answering that. Sorry. Like, this whole area would pretty much be in the shade. And that is not a very shady tree. Trestle bench? Nope. That is not what I want. Well, the red oaks are good for it, but we kind of have a bunch of them already. I guess I'll just plunk our river bridge down right here, because they seem to be fairly prevalent in this park. Oh, you know what? Let me plug this thing in. Just real quick. Sorry, need to take a minor detour. There we go. You guys heard that. That was me making sure my phone didn't die. And then we'll put some over here, I guess. Just a couple trees. Maybe some of those little guys that I was putting down. One of these live oaks. These are the... I have a special place in my heart for live oaks. Because live oaks are it's the kind of wood that they built the USS Constitution out of. It is a particularly resilient type of wood. It's very tough. What the heck was that for? That, I didn't touch anything, I swear to you. You know what? We need some chain. We need some chain link fence. I'm going to put one down this way, even though it doesn't really make sense necessarily. It's just the edge of the field. This one's only going to go to here. I wish I had some bleachers, you know what? I don't know where I'd put them, to be honest. You know what? No, hold on. Do I have bleachers? Empty bleachers. Those are kind of bigger than I wanted, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bother with the bleachers. But we've got fence. We've got some other stuff. We've got a parking lot. And you know what? I think I'm going to wrap this This, whoops, I just placed a second ballpark. I need to snap these line points. Bang. I'm not trying to attach to the grass. I swear to you, I'm not. So we're going to string this way. I mean, it's not particularly hard for people to get home runs in this park, but then again, it's just a little community park. It's not, this ain't the big leagues. Trying to make sure the other one wasn't moving. I feel like I should block this off to encourage people not to park here, but, you know, for the games. But at the same time, I think that's what that parking is for. I don't really remember when I put it there. I'm not sure I was thinking that far ahead. Yeah, these are going to be imperfect fences. They're going to have little gaps. Some really messed up fence. Yeah, we'll leave that like that. That's fine by me. It feels a little empty, but I don't know what else to put there other than, let's see, like cars. Okay, yeah, like this. I wish these guys sort of randomized, you know? Oh, that one's already in the line. Coppa. These are both olds. And then let's get a blue two-tone Buick. Park it like this. You know what? We didn't make a little get-off point on this. And admittedly, these guys would not be facing this way. They would have pulled in. Bel Air, yes. This is quote-unquote black. This is just pretty gray. But it's got those fins. It's got those freaking fins. Okay, we do want one of these Chevys. I guess. The two black cars next to one another. I was kind of expecting a truck, but we got this instead. There we go. These are the oh god, no. Not that color, please. That's a nice tone compared to the other ones, I guess. But yeah, let's grab the hold on. This kind of road. You can use asset replacer on splines, can't you? Oh, it actually let me get that kind of road. I am impressed, honestly. Be on the right. There you go. And then, what else? Over here we need one. This should be the whole length of this, though. Because this is just people pulling off and probably parking in... I mean, I wouldn't call them spots, but just in this general area. Ah, that's pretty good. Let's line it up. Okay. So there, we've got those squared away. The thing we need to do is we need to put the grass in this area here and start working on it. We'll see how much we get done today on this. I don't actually know. The thing that I forgot to do is I forgot to download all the beach houses, which I said I was going to do, and I thanked Eric for. Which I didn't actually thank him. I thanked him on the video, if you recall. I haven't gotten around to actually thanking him for that. Maybe once I actually do it, I'll remember to, actually thank him. I always forget to actually go on the DLS and get the stuff. Because I only think about it while I'm recording the video, and then I get done with the video, and I go, okay, video's done. Move on to the next thing. And I don't, hold on, let me just go to the DLS. Right now. Manage content. So, go to download, wrong thing. Download Stazione. Nope, that's not what I said. I said download station. Okay, and then beach house. Not horse, beach house. You guys can't see what I'm doing. You know what? Let me get the name beach house. JP Beach House. And it's searching. Alright, well, we're gonna work on this. There's only 2 of them. Son of a gun! There are only 2 of them. I'm gonna have to, alternate them. Oh, there's also this thing called Beach House. Okay, I guess I'll deal with that, too. I won't install these now, because I don't want to break the recording. But that's what we got. Is this in Boston? No. Where's this firehouse from? So I only ask because I have to walk by a firehouse every single day on the way to work, and I don't. It looks like this, sort of. Now this is a Troy firehouse. Oh, okay, I should know this one then. I wonder where this is. Like how they at least, made the walls all different. Wow, that scale's just terrible. We're going to use different kinds of gravel in this general area. Just all together now. All together now. Doesn't matter what color it is under the building. You know what? And then we'll put like a dirt lot off to the side. So let's grab the dirt. Come on. I sort of want to just put like not like a vacant lot, but just some scrap stuff over in that area. Like the firehouse has its own almost dumping ground, but that's not really what I mean. One, two, three, four. Can I have a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love you. I don't know why that's become like a song in my head. It's definitely not a really particularly famous song by the Beatles, but it's now in my head. No, I don't want the brick wall. Speaking of songs. Just against the fence here. You know what I should do? And this is a weird source of inspiration. I should go into DayZ. And I haven't done that in a real long time. But I should go into DayZ and look at, oh, how does this area look? How are the houses? How's this? How's that? Or, maybe I recommended to everyone last episode. Maybe I should go outside. Maybe I should do that. Although I went outside today and I got sunburned to hell and back. I think I opened with that when I was talking about my traffic counts. It's, oof, it hurts. It hurts. I'm gonna be peeling, it's not gonna be fun. You know what? I'm gonna use this. I haven't used this spline at all since I put it there next to the Texaco station. Look at all that town we just flew over, though. Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I love it so very, very much. I'm so happy with Olive. Like, really. I am. It's like my kid. If my kid was purely digital. If I had a kid. I don't have a kid, for the record. Mom, if you're watching this, don't freak out. I'm kidding, of course. Yeah, no, it's... But, needless... All of that aside... I am very thoroughly pleased with this map so far, you know? It's got its own issues, of course, every map will, but we haven't even really gotten out into the open wilds yet. I'm just trying to keep this area fresh and interesting all the time, you know? It's just going to be block after block after block of the same thing, and the only thing we're going to be able to have is these friggin' 3 different kinds of beach houses. One of which is completely unlike the other 2. If you guys know any more beach houses, let me know, although I do recall there was some, hey, use this asset talk in the thing, in the comments, which we'll get to in about half an hour. But, all that aside, yeah. Alright, I'm going to add a driveway to this, like an entryway here. And I guess I just won't give it a gate. I don't think there's a corrugated fence gate. You know what I'll do, actually? And this one makes sense. I'll just build it like... Hold on. I'll build it like this, and it'll look the same from the outside, at least. So put this like that. Either put that like that, and this like this. But that just looks bad. That's the real issue, is that doesn't look good. It looks just sort of like somebody broke the fence, which is sort of exactly what I did. If I do that, you might get the idea, but now you're getting some weird depth perception stuff, just the fact that it's corrugated. Yeah, whatever. So, the other alternative is just to do this. Oh, you know what? You know what might sell it a little bit more? Because now that I'm actually thinking about this a little, add a thing here. I'll add another one down there for the actual exits for the fire department, etc. as well. But do this, and then maybe I can get away with putting these, you know, a little bit more open and showing that, hey, this is a gate. Still not sure I'd buy it. Yeah, that looks good, actually. That's okay. That is okay. Let me throw just some gravel down there. Just for... yeah, just a little bit more, like right there. That makes it look better. Let's make it a little bit more real. Okay, so we have to add the entrance to the fire station here as well, and this is about here to about here. I wish I knew... Is there an unmarked... Mason, if you see this video, Is there an unmarked kind of this pavement that I can just, like, put up to the doors? I'm waiting for the answer that's not going to come. That's the thing. I don't know why I paused after that. I did not pause because I expected an answer. That's not why I paused. I paused because I didn't know how to go from that to the next subject. Service station. Produce armory. This is the thing I want. Well, no, wait. You're a gas truck. You're a gasoline truck. I want a fire truck that's, sort of like that. Let's see. Fire. Truck shot firers. No, that's not. UK steam fireman? Oh, that kind of fireman. Duh. Rural fire station. We'll have to use... Nope, never mind. No, we won't. Brick fire station, Portland. Old brick firehouse, that's the one we have. Firewood cargo. Arsonists. No. Fire plug side... Oh, that is called a fire hydrant. Fire hydrant. We need to add more of these. Fireman. Fire truck La France. 007. Oh no, 700. Oh my god, you're adorable. American La Frange. Oh, La Frange. No, it's La France. I wonder when this was, because that looks a little 50s. Looks a little retro. Fire station 1942. Fire hydrant 01. Fire engine 1942. That does not look like a 1942 fire engine. Fire water carrier. Hydraulic platform. Command and control unit. It's called an ambulance, where I come from. Spitfire. Airport fire and rescue. Oh, airport stuff. 1935 fire engine. We're gonna put this thing, like, over here. It only comes out for special occasions. 3 fire buckets. Oh, they have to hang from something. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. Let's go to MISC. Change pick list. MISC objects. Let me grab these, because I want these to be in the MISC objects. Firewood cargo. There. I'm always going to put these oil drums places. That's the issue. You know what? I do want the tanks, though. Where were they? Oil tank. Nope, not like that. Maybe I put it in mills? Did I put it in mills? Here's the thing, though. There's always stuff around. Yeah, no, there's not. Standard Oil Depot. Hold on. What the hell? I'm gonna have to use this. Obviously, that's why I put it in mills. But, you... No, not you. I want the oil tanks. Like, not those. These guys. Although, maybe I want a bigger one. No. Tank. I don't need giant tanks, but I do kind of want these two. Nope, never mind. Those are giant tanks. I'll pass. Tank concrete large. That's going to be another huge one. Tank diesel only. That looks like a little bit much. Tank truck. Tank white. No. That is very, very white. Team track crane. I will have to use this in the future. Look at this. This is awesome. I need to use this. I wish it moved. It doesn't do anything, but you know what? I think I'm gonna put this in here. I'm not sure why it really belongs here, but it definitely, I feel like I definitely should put it there. And I guess I'll just use that, those oil storage tanks. These are really nice, and I can't pass up the opportunity to use them yet again. Obviously, I'm not going to go with the, I'm not going to go with the something or other. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to put an oil loading rack here and try to string over a spur or something. I mean, theoretically, I could, like, run oil pipes under here and have an unloading rack over here, but I feel like that's a little bit excessive. Maybe I should add, like, a you know what? That's what I'll do. Hold on. Let me do rusty. What the heck is this? Hold on, that is not how you use bridge pillars. That is not how bridge pillars work. I just want rusty rails. Let me see. Yes, dirty, weathered. This is like sort of JR track, right? This is not... It's nice, it's not what I'm using currently. Gray, dirty. Gray, lightly used. That's what I want. No, that is not rusty enough. I want them to be orange. Rail only? Yeah, but I want rail only rusty. You know what? Grr. That's all I have to say. Lightly rusted, lightly rusted. I want rusty, yes, just rusty. Give me the rusty track. Give it. Give me the tetanus. And I'm gonna, like, sort of half sink these into the ground. Actually, wait. If I just use... How bad does the wood one work? Look. But you know, it's 3D, so I guess I can deal with it. But I am gonna totally sink it into the ground a little bit. Alright, you know what, that's fine. They had a spur at one point. End of story. Okay. Let me see. Durnhill coal stage? No. Aging coal boiler. Oh, it's one of those. Never mind. Gas light number 31. Okay, this is awesome. I hope that provides light, because that's effing amazing. I want one of those. Oh, that's what somebody told me about. They were like, hey, there's a thing. Also, we have sailboats. And I need to put some down over here. That one's sunk. Actually, no, this one's fine. No, this one's much more than fine. This one's like in the middle of a Peter Pan movie. There. Oh, it's a sailing boat in harbor, not like it's a sailing boat harbor. Whatever. We'll put more of these guys scattered around. Sand house. This is a cool little industry. I feel like we've got to use this. Sand pile. I feel like I should put the sand over here. Oily sand pile. The regular sand pile looks better. Hold on, what is this? Okay, this is going in mills if I don't already have it. Quick. Technically not a mill, but you guys know what I mean. I said masochist for a minute. Metal Barrel Group. SAP stuff. Alright. Okay, that's right. I said I'm not putting people up. I talked about that a bit. Coal lorry. The hell? What the hell? Multiple things. A, I'm not sure that's how coal works. B, I'm not sure this is how trucks work. What's that? What the hell? Oh! Hey, let's put one of these up. This looks so weird. Oh, I forgot about the sheep. I forgot about the sheep. Every single time I go away, I forget about the sheep. Oh, God. Well, what the hell is that? Or we're just gonna put one there. Scott Street Tower. Nope. I've used that about 1,000 times in the past. Hold on a second. Oh, that's what the quote-unquote track is. I was like, what the hell? I'm sure other people are going to have that reaction too. Anyways, what else can we put in here? Oh, you know what? We can actually have the fireman park in here. And that makes sense. So, let's do that. Let's grab this. Let's use a different, parked modern cars or whatever. What are these trucks? What are the other kind of trucks that we have? We got an Impala. He's the freaking commissioner. Not the commissioner. It's the police commissioner. He's at the fire department for some reason. 1955 Buick green two-tone. Some of these car colors are so ugly. Reminds me of my aunt. I've been in her house, and she has like this enamel wall stuff. And when they put it up, way back when, in like the 60s or 70s, it was, it was expressed to her that this is gonna, this, you don't need to clean it, you don't need to do anything to it. You'd need to be very certain about what color you want, because it's gonna be there forever. And she picked probably not the ugliest color imaginable, but it's like this horrible green. And it has been that way for decades. And it will always be that way, because nobody's gonna change it. It's basically a perfect thing. You're not going to take it down and get rid of it. You know what? Hold on, I'm moving this. These guys are going to park over the railroad tracks because, let's be honest, everybody parks on top of the railroad tracks in the parking lot when it's not a active rail line anymore. Seriously, everybody does that. I see it so often. It's just because, now it's just extra parking lot space. It's nothing else. If, it's not like, oh, well, surprise, they're bringing a shipment in through the train tracks in the parking lot. If you're parked on top of it, better move your car. It's like, there's never going to be a train coming through here ever again. Period. End of train track. And these presumably are also on top of it. Oh, you know what I should do? I should string it to over here and just put a buffer there. But here's the other thing. I was going to move this. To there. And now we have a little shed. That's a nice shed. I need to use that more. City house. Oh, okay, it's like tenements. I might use these somewhere, but not here, that's for sure. City office. Tomb house. You know what, this is nice. Enough. It's nice enough. Oh, that's what's weird about it. I was like, why are there no windows on the first floor? Because the first floor is underground. That's the thing, you see so many nuances and height change in real life. And it's just not something that's, it's not nearly as present. Or it's not nearly as doable in trains. That's the real issue. I should use some of these, but they're really ghetto. Look at them. You know what I don't get? Why have a square front wall and then a roofed thing? UK barn. Maybe we should have like a tiny rancho operation down here. Caravan park. Double line. Oh boy. We call that trailer park around here. Okay. Why did I go all the way down to this stuff? Industrial buildings. Other kinds of industrial buildings. Industrial ghost. Too spooky. I should use that someplace. Wink. Indian trading post. On Route 66. I'm gonna put this over here. Let's put this... Oh, you know what? That's a hill. It's kind of obnoxious. And we should flatten it. If I'm gonna be completely honest. We should probably flatten it. But I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I'm not even sure what I want to do with this block. Like, what am I gonna do with this block? It's just this rise to this area here. That's a hill. That's actually kind of a rather painful hill. Just to deal with in terms of building houses. It's not actually a bad hill. It's funny that I give these, like, replies to nobody. I sit here and talk to myself all day. No wonder I'm crazy. Crazy because I have to deal with Madison. I'm kidding, of course. I don't want anybody to take things too seriously and get their whatevers in a whatever, and then get upset, and then be upset at me, and then have to fight me in the comments. Fight all yous. 1v1 me. I don't know, stereotypical 1v1 situation. Like, no items, final destination. Or, like, rust, knives only. I know all the hip, cool kid talk. Can do that. Let's leave him there. These cars all look so similar, too. That's the other thing that gets me about this. Gets me, you know, kind of about this era, but just about everything. And it's, I mean, to an extent, it's totally true in real life as well, where it's the, well, you know, the cars of the era generally all sort of look the same. You know, they look pretty similar relative to one another. Oh, you know what? If one guy parked like that, the other ones would kind of try to mirror him. I know how parking works. These two would not have pulled in, and then the other guy would pull in like that. This guy's on the dirt a little bit, though. I want one of these trucks, though. I always want to have at least one of these Chevy trucks in the mix. But the issue is I don't... You know, there are so few... And there are so few that I actually want to use, like, the puke-colored one. Like, do I really want to use this color? Why would I ever want to use this color? But I'm going to put one of that color there because I guess that's just what is going on today. It's just a puke color kind of day. This is looking better and better, I swear to you. I don't know why I have to swear to you that it's looking better and better. You can actually, you know, look with your eyeballs, see that it's looking better, and go, yeah, you're right, it is getting better. It's not like we're in an argument about if it's getting better or not, but if you want to get in an argument, fight me 1v1. I win every time. Stick win every time. Okay, well, what happened to that? Oh, I think it got absorbed into a different... Yeah. Nope, no, it didn't. It just decided not to be placed. Did I reach the spline limit? We found this meat limit. And I am dealing with it currently. I'm just going to try to get the grass down, and then we'll put the trees down on top of it. Maybe not on camera. We've got 3 minutes in the section before I go and read comments. Maybe there aren't trees in this section. Or whatever. Maybe there are trees in this section. You don't know. Even I don't know. I didn't build it yet. Oh, this is sweet, though, coming down the highway. I should lay some invisible track on the highway. That's what I should totally do. Alright, let's just sort of move on, because we've got this area on lockdown, I guess. Yes, no, maybe, sorta. Kinda. Oh. Yeah, so I think this area is pretty done. Like, these two blocks are done. We have to do this block, and we have to put houses in this block. And maybe these two, because these are both relatively small blocks. Then once we get to here, then we'll go, like, we're going to build to here, inside this area, and then I'll deal with the beach stuff later. Once I get more beach houses. I guess. I should leave myself a sticky note. Get beach houses. But fill out this block with buildings, fill out this block with buildings. And then leave, like, these 4 for next time. Because once we're done with that, we can either go back along the waterfront, either deal with Dick Island here, add more ocean, which is part of the plan, or go to, like, this final area. Where'd I put the field? There it is. We are deceptively close to finishing this area, even though it feels like there's a lot of work to be done, which there 100% is a lot of work to be done. We are fairly close. Oh, and I didn't even give these guys a driveway. I knew I missed one. Nope, wrong button. Give me the driveway. put it over here so it doesn't interfere with other people's so much. There. I'm glad I didn't snap to the road. Try to build stuff. Okay. So we do need to give these guys' driveways actual connections to the road. But while we're here, let's go checky on the last episode. America's Pastime. I know the Minecraft episode isn't out yet. That's just unfortunate timing and me being busy. So, anyways, we've got 9 comments, which is a good amount, and this one's actually... Okay. TBA's first. TBA. Okay, so those houses back in the woods look great, but what if you took some of them and put them on the other side of the road? Because a lot of large property houses like that, from what I've seen, alternate sides of the road. It made a nice but different feel if you haven't forested the area. Okay, so you put one on that side of the road close to the farm, but you can put another one on the same side but closer to the other side of that stretch of road. So, I understand what he's meaning. He means, like, these houses here, some of them could be on this side of the road, on this side of this road. The only place where I'd really want to do that is here where it opens up. The reason for these houses being way back here is so that they're far from this. You know, they're far from the traveled areas, etc. But I will put one here if I get another nice big house to put here. Let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one based on stuff that we've already put down. Like you. Hey, come here. Oh, wrong thing. Hey, listen. House American Red. This looks good enough. It's sort of a medium-sized house. It'll fit there. And also, it's pretty nice. This is another one I would consider. But that's way too new. It's got a carport and everything. This is also almost too new for what we're doing. Can I get away with this one? Actually, I quite like this one. Yeah, I'll put this one up there. This one looks old as dicks. This one actually is built on this road here, instead of having its address on the other one. I'll sort of try to center it there. There, that's good. Oops. And I hit 0 a bunch of times. I forget how to even set bookmarks. No. That's how. Okay, so I set that right on top of the station. That's good. That was smart of me. Let me close the pick list and make TBA happen. Okay, so I put that there. Oh yeah. Remember I was having trouble with the freaking splines, being like, oh, you can't connect this. Whatever. TBA points to 27... whatever in the movie. Or in the thing. And then says, but you can connect road and fence splines, lol. You can connect road splines to grass or fence splines, though, lol. And then, yeah, and because I was having trouble over here. I can't believe we can be this deep in the neighborhood and not, like, see the edge. We do have to get to work on this, though. This is important. Or, you know, it's important-ish. Important enough. I used this house somewhere else, didn't I? No, I just gave this guy a driveway, didn't I? Oh no, it's right here. Oh, well, they're similar, they're not the same. They are close. I should give some of these guys garages, though. This one in particular. This one doesn't even have, like, a full house. Where are those garages? Who has a garage? You do. We'll just use this color. Spin it 180 degrees. Close enough. Slide it up to the edge of the road here. Hey girl, slide into those DMs. Too much. okay, passable, I guess. Nope, just sunk the whole thing. Not okay. What to do? Oh, you know what? I'll just put another spline point in the middle. And then I'll move that slightly. How about 5.5? Will that let us do it? Yep. Okay. Those minute changes, they make all the difference. Yeah, see, this guy doesn't have, like, an entrance to the side, so I might give him a garage. Where's the white one? Yeah, this one. This sort of matches. Oh, it faces the right way, too. I haven't built anything with a 2-car yet. Lately. I have before, obviously. Just not lately. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll deal with that in the future, in the near future. 24 minutes. You should give him some planter boxes or garden, or what? What was the whole thing? It just moved me to the video. What was that? Oh, whatever. You should give him some planter boxes or little gardens around the edge of his house. Whose house is this? Which one? Which one? I'm assuming he was referring to... Which one was I working on? This one? Where the hell was I? This town is too big. Jesus. It's too much now. I can't handle it anymore. No, I can... Whatever. Where was I working? I know I was, like, making somebody's house separate from the others. Not over here, really. If I could just zoom out, that'd be great. Oh, it's with the walls. Where'd I put the walls? Oh, it's right here. This guy? This guy? I don't know. Well, you're gonna have to give me a hand here. It's in this, it's either like this one, or, hold on, you know what, maybe if I turn the audio on, it'll give me some sort of cues, but I don't have headphones right now. Because what do I need headphones for to record under construction? This, apparently. I turn on my own audio. The other grass blind we have? Nope, not that one. This one. I mean, listen to myself. I don't know where I put stuff. That's my issue. If I paid more attention to where I put things and just remembered where they were, so alright, that's not helpful to me. My own... Uh-oh. Audacity is stuck. I'm screwed. Uh-oh. This is real bad. When Audacity gets stuck, that's when it desyncs, and that's when all hell breaks loose. I think it's still keeping up. Maybe it's just the graphics that are not doing well. Yeah, it looks like it's doing fine. Okay. If the computer's getting stuck in whatever. Okay, so it's in this block. Tell me which one. Like X from the, you know, top right or top... I almost called it the top bottom. X from the top right or top left or whatever. Just, I know it's in this block. Which one? This, like this guy or this guy or this guy or what? I don't remember. I don't know which one I was talking about. Not enough info. Even though you did provide me the timestamps. So that's very helpful. There we go. Tristan's Trains. I found Streetlight 01 spline on the DLS, and it has functional night lighting. There are 4-wire telephone poles with a light attachment on the side, so you won't have to lay out separate street light splines throughout Olive. Hope this is useful to you. By the way, the background music in Surveyor should be the music from Train/Transport Fever. That would be awesome, actually. I should totally get the Train Fever soundtrack, because we listen to the Transport Fever soundtrack enough. I should totally get the Train Fever soundtrack in here, just to listen to. And play in the background. Unfortunately, that wouldn't help me right now, because I've got no headphones, once again. But that would be something to listen to, of all things. And it would be, you know, at least semi-appropriate. It would be all those great songs that I'm missing these days, because I'm playing Transport Fever instead of Train Fever. You know, No offense to the Admiral James T, but I think they nailed it with their first one. Their follow-up is not as good. Still good though. Still like those songs. I think the mistake was, I think the biggest mistake was the fact that they don't shuffle. They just play them all in order again and again. And so you get to know what comes after the next, and it feels monotonous. But when you have sort of a random order, you can get that, oh, well, we haven't heard this song in a little while. Although, you still kind of get that. You get that to an extent. But you don't get it as purely, as genuinely. Is there a cat next to my chair? I thought I felt something rubbing on my chair. There's nobody here for the record, so ghost cat. Gotta be. It's like I'm either not paying enough attention or it's a ghost cat, and I'm going with the polterpuss on this one. Okay, there we go. Click, click. Chick, chick, bang. Okay. I'm really trying to crack these down a little bit. I don't know why I need to get them so close. Oh, that's alright. Street lights. That's generally the thing I do. When somebody says something, I test it out right then. But for whatever reason, I'm still making driveways. You know what? Let's go back to 5.5. That is way too far down. How about 5.6? That's better. How about 5.8? Just go up 2. 0.85. Oh, there's a little bit of a hill here, isn't there? Thingy. Blind point. If I just do that. There we go. As long as you can't see the grass through the thing. Alright, so what is it called? Oh, he said it was on the DLS. Let me look at it again. Streetlight 01 spline. Let me, check if I have it first. I do! Sweet! Alright, let me look at this. Oh, that's totally doable. I like how they still connected the things on turns. What does it do if you hold on, I gotta run a little experiment with these things to see if they're worthy. And then I'll just do a spline replace on what we've got currently. Although I might change some things a little bit. Come on, everything. Let's do this. Everything's working fine except for trains, and consequently, Bandicam's like, I'm not doing this today. I'm taking a friggin' break. Audio is a little bit ahead of the video, though. That's not great. I think, hold on. Sync. I don't think that will help me that much, though. Because it probably broke a while ago. So what does it do if I do this? Okay, so it just, it like really, it gives up on life, doesn't it? That's okay, I don't do that anyways. Point. Alright, well, let's just see what happens when we replace all the Sons of Guns. And then we'll spend the rest of this time doing streetlights, for now. Okay, asset replacer, show me. Bulk asset update replace. Assets to update. Oh, is it the other thing? Where are they? Come on. Come on. Where the hell is that stuff? Oh, there's this like spline on its own right here. Telegraph 8-wire. Let's just do in current section only for now. Okay. Freaking sweet. We've currently got 3 different lights here now, but that's okay. Also, do these guys go vertical and line up to attach to that? No, they don't. Also, I like how this is the current section. Like, none of the other ones got changed. But that looks good. Let's just, let's do it anywhere on the route and see what happens. Well, those are facing the wrong way. Well, I know what the issue is going to be now. Edit environment. Midnight. Oh, there we go. No, that's it. Why are the streetlights not on? Guys, I was lied to. I was told that there would be lights. There are not lights. You said it is functional night lighting. This does not look like functional night lighting to me. Maybe it's a different streetlight on one spline. Hold on. You stare at Olive at night. Hold on, let me go look at something scenic while I go and check the DLS. Oh, you know what? I want that street lamp, though. Pick list. Lamp. Lamp no. Light. Oh, wait. Like this. Okay, we've got basic street light. Okay, well that gives light. That sheds light. Better than what we currently got, although that light kind of sucks. And this is not the right kind of street light. Downtown street light. Okay, that's yellow for some reason. That's like too yellow. Gas light. Okay, well it lights up. It doesn't actually light up the area though. What was the one that I saw earlier and went, oh, that's really cool, I want that. No, not a traffic light. It was down towards the bottom, wasn't it? Was it? Street light number 6. Street light number 1. Station lights, high steel. Whoa, okay, that's a lot of light. They're not wrong about the high part. Gaslight, oh, this was it. Okay, that's a little bit bright. Okay, well, I mean, if that worked, I would love it. But here's what I'll do. Let me just switch it back to daytime. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Hey, no. Hey, no, that was the right button. Hey, no, where'd the other thing go? Give me the environment thing back. You son of a gun. Where did you go? Come on, show me. Okay, I guess we're stuck at night. What the hell? I broke it. I broke it. Hold on. Did I break it because the Payless was on? Nope, I just straight up broke it. Now it's nighttime forever. And I can't see crap because of the fog. Okay, that's not fun. Why? Why does this have to happen? Where is... Hold on, how about... What if I do this? Put this back here. Click here. Click here. Pretend to click over there. Edit environment. Nothing. Alright, well, we're going to back out and go back in. Come back in. I guess I have to save, but we're in Eternal Night now here in Olive. Yes, overwrite the route. Oh, and Bishkit says the Bah podcast, and the farm looks awesome. Thank you. I'm actually quite proud of that farm. I think it came out very well. Let me go over here. Back to manage content. Open a second window. Go to the download station again. Go to Street Light. Oh, we're back in the window already. That went quickly. Let me see if I can fix Eternal Light. If not, I don't know what we're going to do. I might have to cut the episode short and try to do something with it. Because there's definitely supposed to be daytime. Okay, it's nighttime now. Edit environment. The window comes up, thank God. Okay. Daytime. Alright, what is it called? Streetlight 01 spline? Streetlight 01. What is this? Streetlight that glows at night. You know, it doesn't glow at night. Or mine's broken. That's also a possibility. A distinct possibility, as a matter of fact. You know what? Let me just look at this section at night. Oh, you know what? It might not even be that. Because it might be... You know what? Let me try it now. If you're so damn sure that they glow at night, which I don't blame you, because they're probably damn well supposed to. And now Tane's stuck again. On Tane. Don't do this to me, man. Okay, now Audacity is a good 20 seconds ahead of the capture. That is really bad. Sync. Sync. It's supposed to be like 3, maximum. I really, really hate it when it does this. Because then I have to spend way more time trying to fix the damn thing after I wait ages and ages to be able to even process it. So, I wish that this did not happen. Or at the very least, that I didn't have to care. Alright, let's change it back to daytime. So, tone down on the fog, will you? Like, I like this Tane stuff, but come on, guys. Tone down the fog. I like to turn off the fog, because it's too much. I want to be able to see things. Alright, get rid of this. I am disappointed in these splines because they were supposed to have lights and they do not. This guy's fine because he's facing the right way. This guy has just sprouted a bunch of lights and stuff. Sure, whatever. This guy's going the wrong direction. Okay, so let me attach this like this. I properly guessed which way that was going to be. Let me see, there isn't a spline that goes down here? Or what? Figured there would be. Oh, did I hold off on that because of the fact that we don't have things on both sides of the street? Honestly, I should not be doing this. I should not be doing this because I should just switch it back to the normal things and not be upset about the fact that these don't work. Even though it was advertised they would. No, I'm not. I'm not, upset about the fact that I don't have streetlights. Streetlights would definitely be nice. They would be a plus. But for now, I don't care all that much. So let's swap it back. Bulk asset update / replace streetlight 01 spline to telegraph 8 wire. What's the difference between this one? That's the one we're using. What about this one? What's this one? That is a slightly nicer looking version. But I don't want all the dead ends to have that. So I'm just going to use this telegraph 8 wire that we've got here. Whoops. Come on. Begin. Okay. There we go. We're back to the way it used to look. Unfortunately, but that's what happens. Okay, let's look at the other one. Icer the Blue Lion. Approach Medium here on YouTube is someone you should go check out since he uses Tane, if you have time that is. He puts out great content too. Also, sometime this year I'll get to work on my route. It's the NS, and it's the Norfolk Southern, and it's Heritage plus CSX Heritage 2. Woo! So there be B&O, C&O, and W&M trains, and no CSX at all. There be a lot of steam. There be a lot of steam era to the modern era. Cool. Sounds cool enough. I like checking out routes. As you guys know, I run the thing where I do the route reviews. I love checking out other people's routes. Also, this is something that I bring up to Madison, which is I'd love to get Sunday driving going again, just so that she can get good enough at driving the train so that she can drive during route reviews and I don't have to focus on driving. I've probably said that before, but that's my ultimate goal for that. What? Just take me to 5. 5, damn it. What don't you understand about 5.1? Does it make you happy? You better not go up. There. 4.9. That's good. I need to not be so picky about all this. But being picky is like my mainstay right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna white picket fence this guy. Where's the white? Like, this is always the next step. It's, okay, where are we going to put the fences? Who's going to share a backyard with who? Who's going to do what? And the other thing. Who's doing their neighbor's wife? All that fun stuff. And if you don't think doing the neighbor's wife is, fun stuff, it's probably because you've gotten caught. Just kidding. Don't do your neighbor's wife. Not good all around. Unless you don't care about your conscience in that, and she's asking for it, like literally asking for it. Then, in which case, then maybe. Also, you never know. Your neighbor might do 3 ways. Also, this only applies if your neighbor's wife is hot. Don't just, don't pity bone your neighbor's wife. I feel like that leads to all sorts of unfortunate complications. Or it could, rather. Especially if that's the only reason. Just don't pity bone. Don't do that. It's not good. Leads people on. We had sex 3 times and you say we're just friends? Rude. Alright, there we go. We got a white picket fence around this guy's house. Maybe we'll put some stuff over here. You know, nobody's had a pool lately. We need a house with a pool. Let's get a pool in here. Pool. Pool. It's like the one good pool we have. It's so big, though. It takes up so much freaking room. Just give this guy a patio or something for his troubles. Although I tried to do that with the other guy with the pool, and that didn't turn out well. Patio gets kind of awkward considering the fact that it's, you know, like square and the house is not, well, no, wait. Yes, it's square and the pool is not square. It's not squared. Squared on the edges. All your curves and all your edges. You know what's funny about that song? The only reason I ever heard it is because of Chris Kerfoot, the guy who used to do Minecraft with us all the time, which he should come back. We're gonna fight the Ender Dragon or something. But he was one of the League of Extraordinary Minecrafters. You know what? I want to use that fence, but we're way too close to the other version of that fence. I should pay the fence store a visit. No, I don't need to. I'm just going to use this kind of fence. But I have yet to see a version of the fence that we had at my house when I was growing up. Come on, fence makers, get on it. It was like a white picket fence, but you couldn't see through it. It was like this one. Actually, it was thicker. You know, it was more impenetrable with the sight. It had metal poles, had white sides. You know, it was a white picket fence. You know, with pointed tops and everything. But the issue was, or the thing that was different about it is that you couldn't actually see through it. It's not like the other white picket fence we have. And I don't know why this never struck me. See, the city, the neighborhood where I used to grow up had all these sidewalks, which were built by the WPA. The Works Progress Administration, I think. And that was during, what, FDR's reign? Or it was shortly after the Depression? Either way, you know, government initiative puts everybody to work. And that's when most of the sidewalks in my area were built. And I didn't realize this until literally just now. It did not cross my mind. I wasn't thinking about it. The idea that the reason that there's always this, like, strip of grass here is because of the fact that the sidewalks don't go all the way. Like, they don't cover the entirety of the city's property. They only cover the part of the property the city actually wanted to use for the sidewalk. And they wanted a little bit of leeway, which makes tons of sense. I don't know why I never really thought about that. I mean, obviously, it wasn't something that was weighing heavily on my mind, but it's just the kind of things, these little nuances in everyday life that you can spot. You know, everything, you know, people throw out this, like, everything happens for a reason, but there's more to it than that, because it's everything that happens for a reason that normally goes with, like, oh, you know, she broke up with you, or your dog died, or whatever. You know, it's like, well, everything happens for a reason, just like, you know, you can trust the powers that be, and everything's gonna be alright, and all that jazz. This is such a sparse feeling street. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this street? There are a lot of trees on it. This one too. What's the best thing about this street? This was the original street. You know what? We need more cars and stuff. Although it is admittedly, it's pretty sparse when you look at it from up above. So there's nothing ultimately wrong with this street. Anyways. But it's the idea that, oh, everything happens for a reason. But I don't mean to say it like people typically use it, like, well, it's okay that, you know, X bad thing happened because everything happens for a reason. I mean, it, like, pretty much everything in life at some point, and it goes both ways, and I'll cover them both in a second. Everything in life, at some point, somebody went, yeah, that's what we want to do. And this goes especially in things that you see built, like roads or railroads or, sidewalks in this case. Anything you can think of that, an actual thought process went into creating it. Somebody went, we're going to do it this way because blank. Almost certainly. And then, and you can think about that as you go through. It's like, well, why? See, I get asked this a lot by Madison because, since she started driving, you encounter a lot of weird things like, well, why is this stoplight here? Or why is the road do this here? Or whatever. And obviously, me being, I'm not a traffic engineer yet, but theoretically I will be one at some point. I mean, with the way I'm going, it looks like traffic engineering is going to become the thing that I do, as opposed to, whatever in the scope of transportation engineering. I quite like what I'm doing, I have to say. But she'll ask me, well, why is this here? And I'll go through and I'll hypothesize why something was built a certain way. And that, that's really fun for me to do for, whatever reason. I like doing that. And B, it's good because it's like, well, you're asking questions about what's going on, and you realize that every turn in the road was decided upon. And I mean that literally. I do mean that literally. Not like every turn in your road of life was decided upon, even though, to an extent, you pretty much govern where you go. There's always, it's like not the sadistic, but like the sick kind of thought. It's like, well, even a slave has a choice, obey or die. But to an extent that is true, not from the slave's point of view, or, not in the slave, sort of purview, but just as a general statement. As in, you have a choice in everything you do. You can just, if you choose not to decide, you've still made a choice. That's a Rush lyric. I think that's in The Spirit of Radio? I don't know what song that's from. Either way, it's a Rush lyric. But it's that's the truth of it. Everything you do is a choice that you have to make. Whether it's to the point where, not the odds of it, like, the benefits are stacked so far in one direction that you'd be stupid to pick the other one, but you still made that choice. You could have made a stupid decision. Everybody's capable of that. And, and that's what I mean. Everything is a choice. I don't mean to get philosophical here. But I'm trying to say that no matter what, along the way, a choice was made to create what currently exists. To build this road here, to build this house here, to add a chimney, to add a living room, whatever you may have. What the hell is with this? What? Hold on. What? Have I never noticed this before? What the hell is going on? Alright, I'm attaching this driveway at the back. I'm doing it. At the same time, and I find myself doing this a lot, and it may just be because I'm a noob at life and office jobs and stuff like that, but you sometimes sit down as you're working through whatever, and you go, yeah, well, it's not an exact science. And you sort of just do whatever. And, I feel like that's especially true in a lot of things, traffic engineering included, where you're dealing with people. You're dealing with fallible human drivers who, have to make their decisions in a couple seconds and then stick by them. They're driving 2,000-pound destruction machines. People like to call them death machines, whatever. They're cars. They're not designed to kill people. In fact, they're designed to save people. They're designed to save the people inside, typically. But the idea is that, yeah, I forgot, whatever. Sorry. Trying to regain my train of thought here. The idea is, while everything is decided upon, and it was probably, put through the rigmarole of testing and thought, and, well, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do with this? Solve all the problems and move on, to the next problem, to the next major issue or whatever. And, that was definitely boiled down, and the best solution was determined, probably, with whatever it is. When you've got people on the job, people are going to try to do the job well, whatever it is. And that, then consequently, everything you see has a reason for being more or less. And the flip side of the same coin is that everything you say, somebody looked at and went, you know what, that's good enough, and called it a day. It's two sides of the same coin where, yes, everything is, and again, I'm focusing this mostly on roadways, but it applies to other things as well. Everything is chosen and determined and thought out, but at the same time, at some point, some fallible human, just like you or I, decided that that's good enough, and left it as is, and didn't decide to change it any further from the state that it was in, and that was what you got as a final product. Now, when it comes to those kinds of decisions, and when it comes to the products we buy, or the roads we drive on, or whatever, the trains we take, the schedules that they're run on, it's you have to accept that I'm not going to say perfect, but what's best for everyone may not be perfect for you, or even best for you. There may be a train schedule which is horribly inconvenient for exactly what you want to do, but for the most part, for the majority of the commuters, it works out very well. And that's what they're trying to get. They're not trying to get everybody possible on board the same train. They're just trying to make it the most accessible to the widest range of people. They don't know who's in that range necessarily. And I'm saying they, like the companies, the people who work on stuff. They don't know who's in that range theoretically, but they do know approximately how many people they expect to fall in that range, and that will be their target goal. Do we have another not see-through fence? Another opaque fence? Let me go down here real quick. We've got these, we've got these, we've got these. The only other one aside from this one is the redwood fence, which... No, I'll use this one. Where was I? Where was I literally? I was over here. And with the products you buy or whatever, you're in a sense, you're trusting people who decided that, yes, this product is going to work. It's going to work well enough. And you buy it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't, people, you'll typically take it back and be like, hey, this didn't work, and they'll be like, well, we're sorry. And they'll give you a refund or another one or whatever. And that generally isn't the fault of the people who are selling the product. It's generally the fault of the people who are making the product. Of course, you could fault the sellers for buying subpar product, but if they didn't know, or I guess if, that's not really in their purview, they're just buying stuff to sell. If you bought it, if people bought it and they don't bring it back, then it's good enough. Unless it's killing them, and that's why they're not coming back. But I don't think too many products you're at risk of that. Yeah, I totally lost where I was going. I don't know, think about stores for a second there. But I was saying, the idea is that you get those refunds, you get those exchanges or whatever, the store credit, because people know that things are imperfect. people are fallible. Products are breakable. Not everything survives transit, etc. Sure, let's use the blue one. No. You can't have a perfect thing in this world. That's not like oh, this world's terrible, you can't have a perfect thing. I just mean that, like, you know, it's not possible. Perfection, you know, we're humans, we're fallible, we're gullible, we're stupid. And I mean you no offense, fellow humans, of which I am definitely a part of your species. And, you know, you people make mistakes. It's tough. You can have something on the small scale that's, oh, that's perfect. But you'll never have, like, the perfect solution or the perfect system. Or, you know, for anything really grandiose in scope, perfection goes out of reach very quickly and stays out of reach pretty much eternally. I mean, maybe humanity will reach a point where we can create the perfect whatever. But I don't know about that. And I don't think I'm going to be around for it, so what do I care? For real, though, it's a question of, you know, how good can it get? Because you can have a device that does about 10,000 things, including, you know, brush your teeth, combs your hair, it dresses you, it drives you to work, it does all the paperwork for you, it, you know, it talks to your secretary, it even watches TV for you. And people will say, well, how come it doesn't do my wife? Or whatever. You know, people don't want to sit on the couch. I don't know, maybe their wife's ugly. Maybe it's their neighbor. Doesn't want to do his wife. That's why she's coming to you. Anyways. But that's just the thing of it. People will always want more, and they call it the hedonistic treadmill, I believe. My roommate mentioned it. I won't say it's something that I went, oh yeah, the hedonistic treadmill, I'm ready to bring that up in a video. It just got mentioned in passing because we were talking about how people always want more. You know, us included, of course. I'm not immune. We're going to have to add trees still. We're not going to have time for that. We're just adding fence right now. I'm going to extend this all the way down here. I'll put some shrubs in the middle of these two. What I'll do is I'll extend this to like the middle of nowhere and say I'm going to put shrubs there. That's backwards. But yeah, the hedonistic treadmill, everybody always wants more, so, you know, to an extent perfection's impossible because no matter what you achieve, people will say it's not good enough in the end. And that's, of course, not as a diss. It's just, well, you know, and you can be happy, you can be content, you can be whatever. And people can be totally cool with you, but, you know, obviously people aren't going to be super hyped about an accomplishment, like a single accomplishment, forever. There comes a point where you want to move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that, in and of itself, is a really good thing. It sort of pushes us to always improve, to always get better, you know, to always achieve more than we're currently achieving. And I think that is awesome, and I think that's, you know, incredibly necessary for the future of our race. And, you know, fellow human Elon Musk, who is definitely of this earth, is, you know, pushing us in really cool directions. It wants us to get us to the stars. And, you know, running around our planet really fast, stuff like that. Our planet, yes. And, yeah, no, it's just really cool to me. All this stuff. All this, you know, all this reality. And it's strange because reality is normally people talk about, well, reality's harsh, reality sucks, the world's terrible, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure everybody's heard the rigmarole at this point at least 20 times. I'm not the one who's going to give you that spiel. I think the world is just great. I think that we, humans can be in this world and make it even better. And I feel like that that with a little, maybe with a little push in the right direction, with a little bit of hard work and what have you, we can flourish for centuries and centuries and centuries. The human race as a whole doing pretty well for itself. We have more population now than we ever have. In fact, it's arguable, but theoretically we have, the majority of people who have ever lived are currently alive, just due to the fact that the population of Earth, of humans, absolutely exploded when we got modern medicine, because people stopped dying so much. You got you're curing these preventable diseases like polio. Everybody gets vaccinated for polio now, and you ever known anybody with polio? And don't answer if you're over 50. But I think 50 is a little young there. When did we eradicate polio? Do we still get vaccinated for that, or is it just gone? I don't even know. Anyways, I feel like we still do, and that makes sense because you don't want it coming back. But these diseases that otherwise were just ruinous. You'd lose function in your legs from polio. You'd be born with fully operational, fully functioning legs, and then you end up in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. From, not like an accident or breaking them or anything, but just because you caught a disease. And, a preventable, in this day and age, a wholly preventable disease. And that is awesome. And we talk about how we're not going places with this, that, and the other. Cancer research is hard, and, people die from cancer a lot. People die from heart disease. People die from all sorts of things because we're humans and we do that. But it's just the fact of the matter is we have come so far. We may have better information. We can see what's going on in the world and learn about everything, everything bad and everything good. And it feels like there's a lot of bad going on. But it's just because we can hear so much more. Our ears are open. Our eyes are open to anything that goes on in this world of ours. And, you can go out and you don't need to cherry pick. And you can find, greatness all over the place. All over the world. There can be little dollops of sunshine in every corner. Even in the worst ones. Even in the ones that seem the worst, or called the worst, or act the worst. On the whole. There's good in everything. I'm a firm believer of that. There's good in everything, there's bad in everything, because even the best things have an opportunity cost. Even the best things have but we could have done blank. And that might have been better on some points. You very rarely find something where it's this is clearly better in every single respect. Most of the time you have to make these decisions. Do I do this and, take the job with better pay, but I have to commute, an hour and 20 minutes each way, or 2 hours each way, something like that, it takes a lot of time. Or do I take the job with less pay and, possibly without a window to the future, theoretically, it's just this, but I don't have to go anywhere. It's right on my doorstep. It's right in front of me. And those are the kind of decisions that people have to make all the time. And it's the kind of decision where you don't know if you made the right decision. In the end, you can feel like you did, or you can feel like you didn't. But, no matter what, you made a decision. It took you to where you are, and you can figure out what you like and don't like based on that. You know, you can't, no, you know, you can't predict every outcome of every possible thing. You could sit there for days and days and days and days and try to figure out, like, well, yeah, but if I do this, then it could lead to this in the future, which could lead to this. But that's a X% chance, or, you know, whatever. I mean, theoretically, you could, you know, get some sort of, I don't know, math major, probably. and a whole bunch of other people, I would suppose, to go through and figure out, well, what are the chances of this, and the chances of this, and the chances of this. And, oh yeah, you could totally do that, and spend all your time and money doing that, but I feel like the outcome, which I don't need to be clairvoyant to predict this one, is you'd just be broke. So, you don't have to figure out everything that could possibly happen in the future when presented with a bunch of possible scenarios. You just have to weigh what's in front of you. You know, and that doesn't necessarily mean prioritize the short-term gains, but what it does mean is don't look too hard to the point where, you know, all you're doing is squinting ahead and you're not actually looking around you. You know, you gotta be able to see the forest through the trees. You know what we need? We need a river birch here. So I'm putting down too many of these. I'm treeing up this neighborhood. I'm not doing different with the ground textures lately. I just don't feel like it. Trees are good enough right now. That's a fence. That is not what I want. I do not want a fence. Go away. Okay. So we're going to put this over here. We're going to string some grass around the back. We need to slam some bushes here too. Alright. Put some bushes down. In a second. Alright, let's get the bushes. Where'd I put them? Where'd I put my bushes? Put them over here, right? They're separating some people. There they are. Are these the same bushes I put at the edge of the wall over there? Neighbor? I don't remember. I put some bushes over there. What am I moving? Okay, I wasn't moving anything. Oh, too much. Alright, right there. Good enough. Yeah. The other thing, and I don't know why I'm being all philosophical today. I just got caught on some tangents, and I've gone and gone and gone and gone. And there's nobody here to stop me, obviously. But if you want to hear me, you know, wax philosophical, then I guess continue to watch the show. Because I'm sure I'll get here again in no time. I love to do these preachy bits. And I'm not entirely sure why. So, you know, your life is in your hands. And I mean that as much sarcastically as I do mean it legitimately. It's true, you know. The decisions we make are going to directly reflect on our future, no matter what they are, no matter who we are, no matter what we're doing, where we're from. You know, it's something we've all got in common. We are all inevitably, you know, no matter what, you know, no matter what you've got going for you, could have, you know, millions in your bank, you could have, you know, people waiting on you hand and foot. You could have your neighbor's wife coming over to blow you every day. Sorry, I've been watching The Departed. It's a good movie, but it's getting to me, I think. Having the urge to drop F-bombs left and right, you know, speaking in the accent. Also, just being in Boston does that. Both of those things, I guess. But at the same time, you've still got to make your future your own future. So anyways, we've got more trees to put here. We've got to finish this block and then move on to the next couple. Again, next episode is put buildings here, I guess. And get some more beach houses. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Trainman out.